Hello, everyone. I wanted to take this time to go over the questions that you asked me at the end of past reading and writing experiences assignment from week 1. The first question: is your class going to be hard? Are we going to get too much homework? That's kind of hard to say because it's very subjective. Each person has a different pace and speed of how they go through the material. What I can say is the work that you're doing is the combination of the work that you would do during a normal class. Let's say that meets for 50 minutes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, along with a homework then that you would have outside of class. So think of it like you're doing the exact same amount of work, um, but it's all on your own at home. Plus, we're a summer semester and there's only 8 weeks instead of a normal full semester of 16 weeks. So it's a little bit, maybe a little bit more hectic. But like I said, multiple times during the first week, planning out your time is going to help you the best. So I would definitely get onto Cobra on Sunday evening, Monday morning, see what work you have to do that week, and then maybe make little times during the week where you can work on it. And then that way, if you come across something that you need help on, you can get feedback from me right away. The next one is a comment. She wanted to let me know to help her as much as I could. Online is new for her, so she may struggle a little, and I completely understand that. I think online is new for a lot of people. This class is normally never taught online, but because of the pandemic and COVID-19, we have to make exceptions for that right now. Um, so for some students, it's easy, it's built in at your own pace that you go through each week's material. For others, they need a little bit more structure. So, like I said, if you have certain times each day that you can plan to do a little bit of work on the class, that may help you better than trying to get it all done at the last minute. But definitely, if there's anything that we go through that I go through in a video and you still don't understand it, email me and let me know. If I have several people who email me still stuck on something, I will gladly make another video and put more practices of what we're doing on there. So always keep me informed if you're behind or if you're not understanding something. That's when you definitely need to email me. What made you choose education as your specialty to go into? Um, I don't know really. Um, it was just something that I always felt comfortable in the classroom. I always liked the idea of teaching information to other students, to other people. And it turned out that my maternal grandfather was a teacher, a principal, and a bus driver, actually. I never knew him. He died a month before I was born. But you could say, I guess it's in the family. Um, what have you been doing during the pandemic? So I have tons of books. I love to read. My favorites are murder mysteries, something with a little historical knowledge thrown in there. So something like Dan Brown's books, The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, Inferno. Those are really great, but he doesn't get those out very often. So I have another author who I follow named Steve Barry. He has his Cotton Malone series, and he publishes a book once a year. They're short chapters, a lot of dialogue, but he always focuses on a different part of history. And he's actually a lawyer in real life. And so he's done a lot of research on each of his books to get as much accurate information as possible. I also like a series by two authors. They're Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. It's called the Pendergast series, and it follows an FBI agent who is albino, and he's very unusual. He doesn't go by the usual book standards of how you're supposed to do things, um, but he's like the Mentalist. If you ever saw that show, he can look at a room, he can look at people, and he knows what happens. And so there's a really long series of books of his, and those are really interesting because they always deal a little bit with different science ideas. So I have tons of books like that to read. I also bought several books on race, about how to be anti-racist, feminism, voter suppression, things like that. So I'm also learning about things at the same time. The other thing that I do is I am actually a crocheter. Um, And so I have made a lot of different things during this pandemic, but these I made in the last few years. I like to make granny crochet blankets, but you can make them in different designs. And so here was my first one I made. It was Super Mario Brothers, and I made that for a friend of my fiance's. They're video game people. I made this for a friend. She likes Hello Kitty, and these are huge. There's like two people holding the blanket up. And then I made this one for another friend, Ninja Turtle. And then Ed, my fiance, his mom works for a humane society, and she's a board member. And so I made her a rainbow paw print. So that keeps me busy. I get to crochet while I sit and watch stuff online. Um, if you were not teaching, what would your career of choice be? I wonder if it might be a librarian. It's hard to be a librarian now because they actually, not a lot of universities and colleges actually have the degree for library science. Um, so I don't know. I might go into something like that. I was a librarian for about 4 years. You didn't have to have the degree, and I have the master's in English, so they took that. Um, and it was fun. It was fun. I loved getting to buy books and to talk to people about books and help people pick out books, and so that was fun. So I may have gone into that. What have you been, let's see, we already talked about the pandemic. What made you want to be a professor and what college did you attend? So I went to Illinois State University in Normal. I originally wanted to be a high school English teacher, so I got the degree for that. And then I said, no, I want to go a little bit older for the age range of students. So I stayed on for my master's degree in English and I specialized in children's literature. I've been teaching at Parkland for over 10 years now. I teach CCS 98 and 99, English 98, 99, English 101, and then English 102, the careers section. And so I've really been enjoying that. I like getting to know you guys and to getting to bring ideas about different things into the classroom and getting to see what you guys think about them. How many cats do you have? So my pets right now, I'm sheltering in place with my fiance and his mom, and they're both essential workers. And since I can teach online, I'm the one who stays home and goes to the store for everybody. They have 4 dogs. There is Rainy, who is a Pomeranian. We have Maddie, who's a Boston Terrier. She does have junior cataracts. We got her from a breeder, but we normally get shelter dogs. But in her case, we kind of felt like we were rescuing her. There is Quinn, who is our lab mixed with Irish setter. She actually has lymphoma, um, and she's been doing fine. You can tell her glands in her neck are like golf ball size. But then in March, she got her teeth pulled, and those went down. So we're not sure what's going on with that, but she's doing fine. And then we have Honey, who's our German Shepherd Shar Pei mix. And then where I live with my dad and my sister, there is a golden retriever who Shadow. She's 17 years old. She is going through kidney failure right now, so we've been talking about end of life things. My cat grew up with Shadow. He's 17 as well. He's an orange tabby named Binks, after Zachary Binks from the movie Hocus Pocus. And he has diabetes, so he's probably not got too long left himself. So we've just been making him comfortable. And then my mom passed away in 2012, and we have her cat Stormy. So sometimes it's kind of like living with Garfield and Normal, if you know the cartoon. And I will actually post pictures of my animals below the link, below this video on Cobra. Um, let's see, some of your favorite books. I already said those. Do you have a series you like? Kind of went over that. Why teach reading English your favorite? So I was never a good reader, and I didn't know that growing up. They would pull me out in first grade, and I would go to a little janitor's closet where they turned into, I guess, a reading teacher's little room. It was the 80s, so there were puppets, and I thought it was really cool. And so we would just work on reading stuff, and I didn't think anything of it. Um, Around third grade, I remember doing a little summer school. And again, they made it fun that I didn't even think about it. I didn't think that I needed help in it. I didn't know I had a problem with it. And then we ended up moving to a different town. And for whatever reason, my fourth grade teacher, everything snapped with her. And so I was reading R.L. Stein books and I was doing book reports and drawing pictures from scenes from the book. And it all clicked for me. And so I've always loved to read. And so that was something that um, I just decided to go into because I excelled at it really well in school. Let's see, what else? Um, what kind of music you enjoy? Oh, I was born in the 80s, so I love the 80s music, the 70s music, Earth, Wind, and Fire, those kind of that kind of stuff. Favorite movie? Oh, there isn't one. We always go to Star Wars and Indiana Jones and um, the Goonies. That's a big one. The Goonies. And then let's see. Would it be possible for you to give precise directions and instructions on assignments? That way it would be easier for me to understand. Um, I hope I do. I make sure that I try to give them as much in videos as well as writing them in each week folder on Cobra. However, if there's anything that you're not sure about, like I said earlier, always email me, contact me if you have any questions or if you're unsure about anything. I will definitely get back to you. So that looks like all the questions for this week. So remember, you have a documentary to watch this week. You have a summary and critical response to type up. I already had someone email me a draft of their summary for feedback, and for the most part, I mean, it wasn't bad. There's a few extra things to change with it, but it wasn't bad. So again, if you're unsure about them, this is the first time we're writing these this semester. Get me a draft and I will absolutely give you as much feedback as possible. I hope you guys stay safe, you stay at home, you're able to enjoy the weather, maybe outside or so. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.